Fear exists, and there is a cure for it. Before I even talk about the cure, there are a few things that we need to go through. It's very important to understand what fear is, where it comes from, why it even arises, and how to cure it. You will experience fear. Everyone experiences fear. Before I even get into anything, it's very important to outline what fear is. Fear is an emotion that arises in both humans and animals when one perceives something as a threat. Perceive is the key word here. Perceive is how you see things. When you see something as a threat, even though it isn't. That's why they say that fear is an illusion. It's something that doesn't exist. But I am here to tell you that it does exist. You have experienced it, and I have experienced it. And you will forever experience it every now and then, especially when you are trying to achieve a goal that is out of your own current being. Fear arises when you perceive something as a threat. When you are trying to achieve a goal that you don't have, that is why it's a goal, because it's something that you don't have. And for you to attain it, you need to be the individual that is equivalent to the goal. You must first align with the goal. You must not work towards the goal, but you must work from the goal, meaning that you first become the person of which the goal will be inevitable. The reason why you experience fear, especially when you are trying to achieve a new goal, is because whatever is unfamiliar, whatever is new, whatever is peculiar to the current self, the current self perceives anything out of the normal as a threat. Now, when you are trying to achieve a goal that is outside of your current being, what happens is your current self splits into two, your old self and your desired self. When you fear something, you'll try by all means to fight it. So that's what actually happens. When you trying to achieve a goal, when your current self splits into two selves, your old self and your desired self, or the individual of which the goal is inevitable, the old self fears that transition because it's unfamiliar. When the old self fears that transition, the old self will try to fight the transformation so it can keep you the same, because that is all what the old self wants. It wants the norm. It wants what is used to. Fear is directly proportional to the altitude of your goal. The bigger the goal, the more of this emotion you will feel. How do we cure this fear? They did, I wouldn't call it an experiment, but in the Navy, when you undergo training, you have to learn how to swim. Every Navy trainee undergoes lessons on how to swim, just in case in the future you need to save someone from drowning. So what they do is they will tell these trainees to jump from a 8-foot and dive into a swimming pool. The faces of those soldiers will tell you that fear does exist. One student was then unexpectedly pushed from this diving plank and jumped straight into the pool. When he went out of the pool, he went back to the diving plank, and with no help, he jumped straight into the pool. The fear was gone. So the one thing that cures fear is action. You have to act. Everyone experiences fear, but the difference between people who are kept the same place or who are stuck because of fear and people who actually get their way to things is that they act in despite of fear. So like I say, the amount of emotion that you're going to feel is directly correlated with the altitude of your goal. The bigger the goal, the more intense this emotion will be. Action cures fear. Fear and faith are the same thing. They just vibrate at different frequencies. It's like steam and ice. Steam and ice are both water molecules. They just vibrate at different frequencies. It's similar to faith and fear. Both faith and fear is an emotion of believing something that have not already happened. To cure this fear, you have to act. Most importantly, you have to act in the present moment, because that's the only moment that matters. For every moment that you are not in the moment, you are dead for that moment. The present moment is the only moment that matters. You can only cure fear by acting in the present moment, in the now. The past and the future, they don't exist. Conceptually, they do exist, because the past is something that has already happened. The future is something that is yet to unfold. Those is what I call the illusions of time. They don't exist. We can't interact with the past, nor can we interact with the future. We can't experience these illusions of time. The only time that we can interact with is the present moment. I can only live in the now. The present is infinitely small. You only get one moment to live in the moment. So it's very important that you take action now in the current moment. For you to attain a goal that is out of your current being, you need to be a very confident individual. You must have confidence. And confidence isn't something that is innate or inborn. Confidence isn't something that God chose upon specific individuals. It doesn't work like that. Every person that you know who is confident, they earned it. Not in public, but behind closed doors, when no one is watching, when no one is clapping. That is how you overcome fear, by taking action in the current moment. Again, it's all about action. You need to take action. That's the only way we can interact with the external reality. That's the only way we can change our circumstances. For me, it doesn't make sense when someone waits for the circumstances to change, not consciously being aware that they are the one who created the circumstances. In order for the circumstances to change, you have to change. Our external reality is nothing but a reflection of what's going inside. The mirror doesn't smile until you do. When you want to change your external reality, when you want to change your circumstances, you first need to change yourself. Going back to curing fear, it's very important to take action right now, right? Because you'll never be ready. Readiness is a myth. In fact, readiness doesn't precede action. Action precedes readiness. You must first act, and then you be ready. You don't first wait to be ready. If you want to cure emotion, you have to take action while you are experiencing this fear. Then eventually it will go away. You are not a week or a month or a year away from being fearless. You are only one decision away, one action away from curing this disease, this failure mechanism. Because when you experience fear, it's so hard to be confident. This is another reason why people who are dumber than you are making more money than you. It's because they don't know what they don't know. So they act until they find out. The school system, I believe, installed fear in us. They installed the fear of being incorrect, the fear of doing something wrong. The reason why dumber people are even making more money because of you is because they take action when they don't have enough information and when they have almost zero clue of what the outcome will be. The school system taught us to first collect information before we take perfect action. There's no such thing as perfect action. Perfection doesn't exist. Imperfection is the new perfection. You can't take perfect action. No one takes perfect action. It's very important, yes, to collect information before you act, right? Because you get theorists, people who want to collect all the information before they take the perfect action, just like school, because you must first get the right answers in your brain before you put them in action. Those are the theorists. And then you get the practitioner. You get two types of practitioner. A practitioner is someone who takes action despite the amount of information they already have. So you get two types of practitioner. You get the dumb practitioner and you get the smart practitioner. Well, you don't want to be the dumb practitioner. You don't want to take action just for the sake of taking action. End of the day, you want to take the right action. You want to be a smart practitioner. You want to take the right action that takes you closer to your goal and further away from your old self. To be a smart practitioner, yes, you have to collect information, but you don't have to feel ready. You don't have to collect all the information so you can take perfect action. You have to act imperfectly. You have to act, get the results, analyze the results, use data to correct the next action. You want to be a smart practitioner. End of the day, you also don't want to take action while holding on to the old identity. This will feel very stressful and very unproductive when you try to take action while holding on to the old identity, while holding on to the old emotions, old thoughts, and old beliefs.